Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Brandon, and welcome back to Marotta Media. Happy Halloween, everybody. That is the time that I plan to put this video out, so I hope you all have a safe, very fun Halloween. And that also explains why I'm dressed how I am. I thought it would be fun to do this review in my costume this year. And if you can't tell who I'm supposed to be, this is my attempt at Cliff Booth from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So this is my attempt at it. It's not great, but I think it's pretty good because I think I recreated it pretty well. I mean, obviously I don't have long blonde hair, but that was, kind of out of the question. I was looking for wigs to wear, but none of them looked like Cliff's hair does, so I probably would have just looked like Jeff Spicoli trying to be Cliff Booth. But I got all the pieces. I got the Hawaiian shirt, I got the champion shirt underneath, the aviator sunglasses, I even got the exact belt buckle that he wears in the movie. And I am going to a party tonight, so hopefully people can tell who I am. But anyway, in today's video, I will be going over a movie that I thought would be perfect to review on this day. Halloween Kills. Halloween Kills is the sequel to the 2018 Halloween, which was a sequel to the 1978 Halloween. And this movie picks up right where the 2018 Halloween left off. Michael Myers has returned to Haddonfield and wreaks havoc on the community once again, and Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, has trapped him in her house and burned it. But at the beginning of this movie, Michael manages to escape when some firefighters come to put the blaze out. And as word spreads that Michael Myers has once again returned, the town of Haddonfield rallies together to defeat him once and for all. Now, I was not a fan of the 2018 Halloween movie. In fact, my experience watching that movie was pretty interesting. I watched it with some friends of mine, and when we walked out, we were like, wow, that was pretty good. I liked that. Then the more we thought about it, we realized that it wasn't very good. It was so unfocused because the movie's main plot wasn't around Laurie Strode. For some reason, they decided to focus on her much less interesting granddaughter at the school dance where her boyfriend cheats on her and throws her phone in some nacho cheese. And that twist with the doctor was just so stupid. But even though I was not a fan of the 2018 Halloween, I did hold out hope that this movie would be better because the trailers really intrigued me. Because I really love the idea of the town fighting against this man who has left their town scarred all these years. But that's not what we got here. Instead, what we got is one of the cheesiest and dumbest horror movies that I can remember that I've seen recently. And one of the reasons I did not like this movie was because it falls into those age-old horror cliches. For example, one of the first people that Michael kills is this elderly couple in their own home, and he kills the husband, and then he starts to go after the wife next. And the wife is at the back door, and she starts unlocking it to get away from him, and she gets it unlocked. But instead of going out the door, she chooses to grab a knife and fight back. Based off context clues, this couple seems like they're maybe in their 60s, so why is this 60-year-old woman trying to fight back against this invincible deity-like monster? Because it seems like nothing can really kill this man. And yeah, as you guess, she ends up dying, and you're just like, you fucking idiot. The door is literally right there for you to run out of. I mean, yeah, you probably would have died anyway, but at least make the effort. Something else that was so cliched yet hilarious is that nobody in this town knows how to aim or shoot a gun. Because everybody in this town, if somebody has a gun and they're shooting at Michael Myers, they never hit him. They can't make direct contact. They just miss every single shot. It's like this town is inhabited by stormtroopers. And you know what? That would have been a really hilarious joke. I mean, because this movie takes place on Halloween night, and if these people were dressed like stormtroopers and they couldn't hit a clear target that's directly in front of them, that would have been fucking hilarious. So that's a missed opportunity right there. This movie was also very tonally inconsistent. It takes itself very seriously, but at the same time it tries to mix in this sense of absurdity and humor, and it just falls flat. Like, the kills in this movie are very satisfying because, believe me, there's a lot of them, but I'll get to that more later. And some of these kills are really intense and gory, and I was like, wow, that's I can't believe they did that because they felt like they held back in the first movie. But when you mix kills like that, very shocking, gruesome ones, with kills that are so ridiculous, it just doesn't work. Because there is one particular kill in this movie that made me laugh out loud. Michael is targeting these people who are in an SUV, and he kills a bunch of the people in it, and he's inside the car, and this woman starts shooting at him from outside the car, and as usual, she can't hit him. And when she gets close enough, Michael kicks open the driver's seat door and it hits the woman's hand and the gun redirects and she shoots herself in the face. It was just absolutely ridiculous, and I really questioned at that point what this movie was going for. Are you trying to be serious or are you trying to be absurd? Because you're not mixing either of them very well. And I feel like this movie tried to stay current with some of its themes, because the town of Haddonfield bands together to fight back against Michael Myers, and throughout the entire movie they constantly chant, "Evil dies tonight! Evil dies tonight!" And it's just so ridiculous, you can't take it seriously. Like, they sound like a bunch of protesters, but that is the main focus of this movie, are these townspeople. And there's a lot of them, and it cuts to a bunch of different characters, and it becomes so much. And this isn't really a spoiler because it's very obvious, but most of these characters end up dying, but their deaths don't change anything in the narrative of the movie. They just die, and then we move on to another character, and then we never see that character that just died again. So what was the point of having them in the movie? When you cut between characters like that, and then never see them again, it feels like sidetracking. But boy, does this movie love its sidetracking, because it happens a lot. But the biggest instance of this sidetracking is this subplot involving an escaped inmate. If you saw the 2018 Halloween, you'll know that Michael was on this prison bus when he escaped, and there were other inmates on the bus with him. And there's this one particular inmate who we follow around a few times, and he keeps trying to hide from the townspeople, fearing for his life because they think he's Michael Myers. But no one ever actually sees him until this ridiculous scene in a hospital. The angry mob has somehow come to this hospital. I don't really remember how they got there. But then this inmate comes in and he's like begging for help, and everyone's like, "That's Michael Myers! Get him! Evil dies tonight!" Even though it's clearly not Michael Myers. Your first clue should have been that this man runs away from the mob as they're chasing after him, and have these people ever known Michael Myers to run away from a bunch of people? And another indication that he's not Michael is the fact that this man is a good foot shorter than Michael Myers. Now, I don't know the heights of the actors who played the characters, but if I had to guess, the actor who played Michael Myers looks like he's about 6'3", 6'4", and this man running around has to be maybe 5'9", 5'10". I know what the movie's going for. It's supposed to be this commentary about mob mentality and how dangerous it is, but it was just so stupid. But it reaches peak absurdity when Laurie's daughter, whose name I can't remember, she helps him try to escape from these people, and it leads him to this hallway, and there's doors on both ends of the hallway, and the angry mob goes to both sides, but they have locked the doors on both sides, and basically this man is done for. So he goes out a window and stands on the ledge, and he jumps off, and he kills himself. Okay. But during this whole fracas, there are a few of the townspeople who realize that this isn't Michael Myers, and they try to stop them, but they're just not having it. And when this man does kill himself, there are a few of the people who are shaken up by this because they just caused an innocent man to kill himself. But then there's others who are just like, well, shit, that sucks. Well, we still gotta go find Michael and kill him. But if that's the case, what the hell was the point of this subplot if these people didn't learn anything from it? You are chasing after this man who is a full foot shorter than the man who you think he is. He kills himself and you don't learn anything from that? It's so fucking stupid. And these are the people that we're focusing on rather than Laurie Strode, the most interesting part of your movie? That is exactly what the first movie did. It baffles me that they made the same mistake twice. In the first one, they chose to focus on her granddaughter instead of her. And in this movie, she is just confined to this hospital for almost all of it. And we cut back to her occasionally, but it doesn't really matter because a majority of the movie we follow these townspeople and they are just not interesting. But there's a whole lot of things in this movie that really don't make any sense. One of them being this couple that live in Michael's childhood home, and they are fully aware that this is Michael Myers' childhood home. Because there's this scene where these kids who are trick-or-treating play a prank on them and they're like, "Do you know whose house this is? This is Michael Myers' house." But in this moment, they easily have the best line in the entire movie.
"Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
He stabbed his sister in the tits."
Yuck.
That is grade A writing right there. Just hang that quote in the Louvre. But seriously, if these guys know that this is Michael Myers' house, a kid who killed his sister at the age of 6, why are they living there? Because it seems like all the plot points in several Halloween movies come back to his childhood home. If his childhood home means that much to him and the town knows it, why don't they just burn it to the ground? Demolish it, something. It seems like that would save a lot of trouble for you. This movie also has several lines in it that don't make any sense. I'm gonna read you a tweet that my friend sent me that I thought was absolutely hilarious because I laughed out loud after I read it. And before I read this tweet, let me give you some context to what it's talking about. There's a character named Marion Chambers who was in the original Halloween from 1978, and she's the person who gave Dr. Loomis, the original doctor, a ride to the sanitarium at the very beginning of the movie. And I haven't seen the original Halloween in a while, so I can't remember if we ever see her again after that. But in that scene I mentioned earlier where Michael is targeting the people in the SUV, she's one of the people inside the car, and she has her gun pointed right at Michael and she says, "This is for Dr. Loomis." And that's where this tweet comes into play, and I laughed so hard after reading it. Why does Marion Chambers say this is for Dr. Loomis? In this timeline, she's just some nurse that gave him a ride to the sanitarium once, 40 years ago. She didn't know him, and it's not like he got killed by Michael or anything. Why is almost every line in this movie so stupid? And to me, that sums up this entire movie. I feel like the writers really have no sense of the source material. Like, did they ever watch the original Halloween? Because it doesn't seem like they did. And that really sucks because I know that John Carpenter has been involved in the first 2 movies, so did he have a say in the story or anything? Because I really feel he should have if he didn't. Some things that I liked about Halloween Kills were the body count, like I mentioned earlier, because Michael kills a lot of people in this movie, which really took me by surprise. I really admire that this movie did not hold anything back in terms of death and the kills, even though some of them are a little bit over the top. Like that stupid old lady who didn't run, her husband and the way he dies. When the lady's dying on the floor, Michael takes this guy's lifeless body, puts it over an island, and just starts jamming knives into his back. And I was like, why are you doing that? Like, okay, dude, we get it. Like, he's dead. Granted, Michael does have this habit of posing bodies and putting them on display, but we never see this dude with the logjam of knives in his back ever again. Was he just hoping someone would find it? Because I don't think anyone ever called for help when they heard these people screaming, but whatever, I'm getting way too ahead of myself. And I really did like the idea of the town fighting back against this man who has wreaked havoc on their community for several years, and not in like a physical sense, more so in a psychological and emotional sense. That one Halloween night in 1978 really scarred this community, and you can feel their pain. They make it a point to never forget this night so it never happens again. So the idea was there, but the execution was just so poorly done. In the end, Halloween Kills is not a good movie. I'm willing to go as far as saying that this movie is worse than 2018 Halloween. And it ended on a cliffhanger again because we're getting Halloween Ends next year, and boy oh boy, I can't wait for that. I'm sure it's gonna be remarkably good. But overall, I'm gonna give Halloween Kills a 4 out of 10. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching my review of Halloween Kills. If you guys like this movie, then let me know what you thought about it, because I know a lot of people did, but as I just mentioned, I was not. If you guys like this review, then be sure to hit that thumbs up, and do not forget to subscribe. If you want to see my past reviews, then I'll link those right over here. Other than that, I hope you all have a fun, safe Halloween. Do not do anything stupid. Please stay safe out there. I hope everybody just has a great time tonight, and I will see you all next time.